What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
Show me the money!
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another Diablo 3 video. This is going to be the Season 31 Barbarian Starter Guide. The season starts on the 12th of April. The theme is the Forbidden Archives, which is the open canonized cube. We can't stack the same item in it, but that aside we can put whatever we want. If you want to take 3 weapons, 3 armor pieces, 3 jewelry pieces, or any combination you can. Barbarian does get some utility out of it. I think Whirlwind for Torment 16 bounties and speedruns can have some interesting options. There's many weapons that work with a Whirlwind Barb. There's many jewelry slots that work with a Whirlwind Barb. So overall I think we will be able to do something a little bit unique with it. In fact, Whirlwind I think does benefit in speeds because you're generally going to take your focus and restraint rings and take your convention of elements, but we need to start at level 1 and we need to talk about how to get your barb through your season journey and into endgame. And it is quite easy. Before we do get going though, as always guys, a thumbs up brightens my day. So first off, level 1, I would highly recommend making a Necromancer and doing the Torment 1 set of bounties because that will get you your Death's Breath and it'll get you most of the gold you need to train up Haedrig. Of course, you need to unlock node 1 in the altar first by salvaging stuff from the follower. You want to make sure that you take the Templar's weapon for your own Necromancer to make it stronger at the start. Don't talk to the Enchantress till level 11 because her weapon at level 11 is really good, so you want to come back and get that. Once you've done your Torment 1 set of bounties on the Necro, you won't be in a position to upgrade Altar Node 2 and fully max out Haedrig because you will not presumably have diamonds at this point. If you save the boss bounty in Act 2's Alton Cool until the very last one, then maybe he'll drop you diamonds. You're still going to be short on gold, I think, to training up Haedrig, so I would go and get the cube on Necro still, and I would basically swap onto Barb once I had got Haedrig so that he could produce me a level 70 weapon, and also that the Altar Node 2 is unlocked. At that point, jump on the Barb, level the Barb, because the 2 and 4 piece Wrath of the Waste bonuses are really good, and you'll get your 6 piece absolutely fine. So the main thing is going to be making a level 70 mighty weapon, 2-handed mighty weapon. We don't need to worry about upgrading it, just use it at 70. And if you jump into a vision with lowish difficulty, maybe Torment 1, you should get enough mats from salvaging stuff, converting in the cube and whatnot to put more level 70 pieces on, and you'll be at 70 in no time. In terms of skills for leveling with the Barb, weapon throw is really nice because it's ranged and you can basically use that to keep up your kill streaks. You just want to put a spender on the bar. I quite like Hammer of the Ancient Smash, that's a good one. Rend is a good one because it will basically tick along and keep the masker bonus up longer. So again, you can just move through the runes. Bloodbath is the best one, but you don't get that till last. Other than that, you just want to pick things that will either give you a bit of defensive toughness, like ground stomp, stunning stuff, ignore pain for damage reduction when you get it, sprint for move speed. You're going to be tight on Fury. Frenzy does help, Vanguard does help with a bit of move speed, but you never know what the game's going to give you when it drops. Again, you can do Threatening Shout to generate Fury. You get Falter, which is 25% increased damage, which is a nice one. Warcry again will be kind of nice because it gives you a bit of Fury and also toughness. You can get Hardened Wrath, you can get more Fury. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Battle Rage, Frosty for move speed's nice. There's a bunch of skills for Barb that will be helpful. You'll be at 70 in absolutely no time with your level 70 stuff, so it doesn't much matter what you put on the Barb. Now, when you get to level 70, you're looking to do your 6-piece journey as soon as possible, and I'll now show you some footage of doing the 2-piece. Because all we have to do is get to Master for 2-piece, because you only have to beat things on Master to get the 4-piece. On the 4-piece you only have to beat your 20 and Torment 4 difficult equivalent to make sure that you can get your 6-piece. So let's roll the footage of the 2-piece, 4-piece, 6-piece, and then 6-piece with the supporting items, and take it from there. So 2-piece Wrath of the Waste. First two you get from Haedrig are going to be the helm and the gloves. I've put Band of Might in the cube. Of course, to get the 4-piece, we only need to be able to complete master level difficulty activities, so we won't need this, but for the 4-piece for the GR20 it might be handy. This is in the loot pool at level 1. Just make a second barb, roll some blood shards, extract into the cube. The other two things, these are completely useless, not doing anything for us. We haven't had any legendary powers like Ambo's Pride or anything like that. So this is just simply a random legendary belt that I rolled in a bunch of yellow stuff. You will have better gear than this. Of course, I've put Move Speed Paragon in. I've put Pickup Radius in just to make my life a little bit easier playing this through, but there's no main stat like that. So your character will be stronger at the time you get your 2-piece bonus. In terms of skills, Rend, of course, gets extra damage with the 2-piece from Whirlwind, so we're going to take Bloodbath for the spreading. I've put Frenzy, Vanguard, Move Speed. We're just looking to push Move Speed, really. Ignore Pain Bravado for that same reason. Move Speed, and it doesn't cost Fury. We're going to be tight on Fury a little bit. Threatening Shout will generate some extra damage when this goes off as well. Ground Stomp to proc the Band of Might and group up. Unforgiving for Fury. Pound of Flesh for Move Speed. Boonable Kathos to help Wrath of the Berserker cooldown, which again adds damage and move speed. And Rampage to build up the strength. Master will be absolutely no problem whatsoever. And then we can move on and do the 4-piece. Barb always is a fast start on Whirlwind because one of the few sets where you actually get the move speed. Now it's not like the hardest hitting thing, but you do get through things like fairly efficiently. So Master is pretty much all you need to get your 4-piece. As we can see, we are doing it pretty well. It's got an okay area of effect on it, particularly with the rune that we've got on the bloodbath with the spreading. So like they'll die and spread the rune for us, which is nice. But yeah, I think this probably proves that 2-piece Wrath of the Waste is pretty easy time, I think. So let's go add 4 pieces and see if we can clear GR20 again with just 4 pieces. And now I've got the 4-piece Wrath of the Waste. So during Whirlwind, the 3 seconds after, we get 50% damage reduction, and applied Rends deal triple damage. So we have to apply Rend before we do the Whirlwind. So this is going to be a little clunky to play, unfortunately. We've dropped the Ignore Pain, but again, this should hopefully show. So we just need to get the Rend out, then we can Whirlwind, Rend out, Whirlwind. And it's pretty easy time things. Rend out, Whirlwind. Just apply Rend on all this stuff. Whirlwind, we can try and generate Fury. I put the Fury generation rune on Whirlwind to the Wind Shear. I don't know if that's the best, but again, we can probably see here that GR20 solo is not going to be much of a bother. We can even with no other legendary items stand in that arcane, and like it hurts, of course it does, but with the Band of Might, it's not the end of the world at all. So apply the Rend, Whirlwind. And unfortunately, this is something you have to do with the 6-piece as well, because until you find your Ambo's Pride, your Rend will not be automatically applied. It's an easy mistake to make, I think. We've all been there. We've all set up Whirlwind, get the 6-piece, and can't understand why it doesn't do any damage, and it is because you don't have your Ambo's Pride yet. So one more time, apply Rend, Whirlwind, and all of this stuff will die pretty quickly, so no bother on GR20 whatsoever. And again, you'll find better items than what I've got. You'll have a few Paragon points to put on your character. You'll have a couple of legendary items, I'm sure. So that is 4-piece Whirlwind, absolutely easy peasy GR20. Okay, so now we've got the 6 pieces of the Wrath of the Waste set. This is a nice ancient piece, both of these. One of them's got an org, so I've not put any gems inside there. You're going to swap your Band of Might activation to Furious Charge, because you're not going to have enough cooldown, I think, to maintain Stomp, and moving up to Torment 10 kind of is going to be difficult. That's where you'll be with just your 6-piece set. So Merciless Assault will reset its own kind of cooldown, but other than that, it is the exact same principle. We are basically just going to use the Rend. We're going to have to apply it and then attack with Whirlwind. So again, if they don't have that little red thing over their head, they're not rended. So if we just look over here, let's find something. If we just Whirlwind attack it, and of course there's no enemies, so if we charge in here, if we just Whirlwind attack it, it's not really much damage, you know, and then we put Rend on, and like all of a sudden this stuff dies much quicker. We are tanky enough with the Band of Might, again, as I say, why I quite like Barb. So you'll be up to Torment 10, absolutely no problem, just as soon as you get your 6-piece set. Band of Might, 6-piece set, Torment 10, absolutely no problemo.
No problemo.
Okay, now the only two things that you need to find to make a Whirlwind Barb are the Ambo's Pride. Attacking with Whirlwind now applies the Rend, so you don't have to press Rend anymore. It stays on the bar because you still need the rune on it. But that aside, you don't have to activate this. We can just now hold down Whirlwind, which is great. And then the other is Lamentation, giving a fairly decent damage increase because it stacks twice, which is double damage, and its damage is increased by 150%, so pretty big. Just upgrade it every mighty weapon you get until you hit an Ambo's. Upgrade every mighty belt, not regular belts, mighty belts, until you hit a Lamentation. Again, you can roll blood shards for this as well. Again, you'll have supporting items, I'm hoping, but you will be able to make this as kind of a budget build. Again, nothing useful in the cube. There are of course plenty of things that are useful for Whirlwind, but we will now have, I think, enough damage to do T16. We will be a little squishy. There's just, again, nothing much we can do about that, so we have swapped the skills around. We've gone for Warcry Impunity, we've gone for the Ignore Pain for the 50% damage reduction, but as you can see, this is Torment 16, this is like no supporting items. Yes, squishy, because again, I haven't put any Paragon points in, so you'll be tankier than this, but it's really just kind of like a damage check. Do you have enough damage to get into Torment 16? Yes, you do. If you get yourself a puzzle ring and go for the Boon of the Hoarder gold wrap traditional combo, then you'd be able to be farming T16 keys with just this setup. Yeah, we've got enough to. Obviously, I wouldn't just jump into T16 like this. I'd probably do T15 if I didn't have any supporting gear, because obviously you want it to be a little bit more efficient than this. But the point is that with 6 pieces of the Whirlwind set, with just the Ambos, with just the Lamentation, and a cubed Band of Might, you will be T16 viable, albeit quite squishy, because we don't have the cooldown reduction to keep any of these abilities up. But hopefully this gives you an idea as to just the power of the set. Get primals unlocked immediately, and then you can build up your Barb to play how you want it. A lot of interesting things I think can be done with the cube, with the Barb. So let's go back to town, put a fully geared one together, and talk about what we might wish to do on the season with the cube. So in terms of an actual kind of T16 setup and with the cube, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that you can look at really. Early on, I tend to like taking the Bulkathos blades just because they're so efficient for the resource generation, give you nice move speed as well. You don't have to, you just have to, if you're mindful of resource, you're going to have to make sure you take the Whirlwind Wind Shear rune to generate resource if you're not using them. If you are using them, you can swap the rune over to the Hurricane to do the pull, which is kind of nice. That makes it a little bit lazier. You can play with the Echoing Fury to try and proc attack speed and move speed. Again, you need to be a little careful with resource generation, but it's certainly an option. Zodiac is normally one of the ways you try and hit with Whirlwind repeatedly to bring your skill cooldowns back, so that's quite a popular item. You can take Doombringer for physical damage. You can take Burning Axe of Sankis for fire, just obviously have to pair it with the Stone of Jordan. Little Rogue Slanderer adds attack speed and armor. Again, that's kind of more really for pushing. Ingerm's always going to be a good add because you'll take 10 seconds off a bunch of your cooldowns. Messerschmitt's Reaver is quite good for cooldowns. Again, you can put Furnace in the cube. You can take a Sunkeeper and an Ambo's Pride if you wanted some elite damage and some gold find. Lots of different things you can do. Xing Pants are quite good, more damage whilst moving. Again, you're always moving with this build. You can take yourself a Crimsons and really push that cooldown. You can take Focus and Restraint and have Band of Might, Convention of Elements in the cube as a combination. There really is a lot of things. The only essential things you need are obviously the 6-piece suit, the Band of Might, Ambos and Lamentation, and the Lamentation and Ambos can be in the cube, and then you've got your kind of free to do whatever you want. Take your gold wrap belt for toughness, really kind of mix and match exactly kind of how you want it. But Torment 16 is going to be very fast with Barb. It always is with Whirlwind. Just remember, you want Rend damage on shoulders and chest plate. You don't want any Whirlwind damage. Doesn't benefit you at all. The whole set mechanic is about Whirlwind applying Rend with the Ambos. But yeah, I think there's going to be some fun, very fast T16 builds, I think, with Barb, because I think we can really push the cooldown and move speed quite hard with the cube being open. But I'll see. I'm probably not going to make a Barb out the gate. I'm probably going to make Necro, I think, first, but I'll try and get Barb guides out as soon as I can. I'm going to try and play all 7 classes. I know I say this every season, but we'll see what we can do. Push guard will follow later, maybe some other Barb guides like Raycore and Leapquake, stuff like that. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I've been Filthy Casual. Take it easy. Peace.